Hello and welcome. I'm Connie Douglas from Great Stamping with Connie. It is Thursday evening and this is Connie's Craft Along. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are here, say hello. Let me know that you're watching and let me know if you're just going to watch and visit and chat, whatever, or if you're going to craft with me this evening. I have another one sheet wonder. We did one last week and I hope you enjoyed it. I had fun with it. I have another one this week. It's a little bit stepped up from the one last week in that there are more layers and things. So I'm just glancing down because I'm trying to get my my Facebook page open so I can see what's up and who's here. And so give me a Heidi ho. Let me know that you're watching. I hope you had an awesome day. My day was wonderful. Nancy Co, hello and welcome. It was a great day. Mother Nature gave us snow on the ski hills. First time this season that we have had enough natural snow that you could actually ski on it. You know, there's been little dustings and that's great, but oh my gosh, the ski hill, Blue Mountain anyway, has struggled this season. It hasn't been cold. They haven't been able to make snow. Mother Nature has not shared snow. So we had a nice bit of snow overnight last night. So it was lots of fresh snow on the hills today. It was not powder. Hi, Terry. Glad you could join me. It wasn't powder skiing because it was kind of wet and heavy and it was piling up a little bit, but it was fresh snow. And tomorrow after they groom, it's going to be awesome. It will be amazing on the hills tomorrow. Sadly, I have to work, which means I'm probably spending a lot of time on the carpet and maybe some green runs. Green runs are okay. I like teaching on the green runs because both of our green runs in the training area they're nice hills. We actually spent some time on Big Baby today and it was awesome. So anyway, it was a good day on the hills. And then we had a wonderful dinner. Our cats were very entertaining. Oscar was just wacko, as Oscar tends to be. So, good entertainment. I have to put my glasses on so I can see what Terry has said here. She's put in a whole comment. Just checking her Facebook and saw that I'm live. Yay. Yes, yay, glad you're here. So I am going to put this down to the crafting area. There's nothing in the crafting area, but anyway, we will get ready to craft. So we have a one sheet wonder, and I know there was a lot of bits and pieces, and I really hope I got them all right. I hope I got them listed the way I was supposed to. And with any luck, you've had some time to cut. And I don't seem to have a whole lot of one of my colors of cardstock. I should have brought the package, but anyway, we are just going to start and see where we end up. And the other thing that kind of crossed my mind, and I'm not sure, if you have dark cardstock for one of your cardstocks, depending which one, you may need some Whisper White. So I grabbed some Whisper White. I'm not sure I need it. I'm going to be honest, I haven't actually made this in a long time. And so I don't have my card samples. But, we're just going to wing it. Besides, what else is new, right? It's a crafting adventure. It wouldn't be an adventure if it was all perfectly planned and could easily be executed. So, gotta have some fun. Okay, so you do need a piece of 6x6 designer series paper, and I suggested a fairly small pattern would work better because some of our pieces will get cut. 1 inch by 1 inch is the smallest piece, but that's fairly small. So you want a small pattern. So hopefully you were able to find something with a small pattern. Hello, Judy and Candy. Welcome. We've got a good crowd joining us tonight. I love it. I love it. And Candy, I'm not sure about where you are, but I was talking to a girlfriend who's out east today, and she said it was 11 degrees out there. And one of my friends posted snow all over the trees 3 days ago, and now you can see the grass. Crazy weather. But anyway, okay. So the first cut across the top is going to be at Oh, I didn't actually work out where we want to do this. 3, 3, 3. Sorry. Turn it. So just my paper right side up. Turn it 90 degrees. And we're going to cut at 3 inches. Okay. If you're ever looking at a one sheet wonder pattern, you want to find the one line that will let you cut your whole piece of paper, because from there then it's going to change. But anyway, so we've got 3 inches, and now we are going to cut a piece at 2 inches. So we have 3 by 2. We're going to cut a piece at 3 inches. And then we have 3 by 1, and we're going to cut these into 1 inch squares. Okay, so we took our piece of cardstock, we turned it from straight up and down to 90 degrees, and we cut it 3 inches. Okay, and then we cut 2 inches and 3 inches, and we cut the last 1 inch strip into 3 1-inch pieces. Very warm and crazy rain today. Yes, I've heard there's been a lot of rain out east. So we had the snow, you had the rain, but you're right, it's crazy weather. So I've got 3 by 2, 3 by 3, and 3 pieces of 1 by 1. Okay. We good with all that? Hopefully. Okay, then we are going to take our other piece that is currently 3 by 6. We're going to cut off 1 3/4 inches. Okay. And then we are going to cut 1 inch. My scoring blade off, but I don't need it, so. And we're going to cut another inch. Okay, and we're going to take those 2 1 by 3 pieces, and we're going to cut them in half. So we're going to cut them at 1 1/2. So I've turned it 90 degrees, and I'm cutting it at 1 1/2. So now I have 1 by 1 1/2 and 1 by 1 1/2, and I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Okay, so I have 4 pieces that are 1 by 1 1/2. Okay. And then I have 1 piece left that is hopefully yes, 2 1/4 wide and 3 inches long. I'm going to turn it 90 degrees to 1 1/2. Okay. I didn't put these measurements in my post. I probably should have, but I will add them to the post after, so that if you are just watching and want to go back and cut later, or you want, if you followed along and did all that, but you don't remember what the heck you did, you'll be able to get it later. Or I could just grab a piece of paper and lay it out for you. Let me just grab a piece of paper here. And you can do a screenshot, but I will still post this after. So we started with a 6 by 6, and we have 2 by 3. We have 3 by 3. And we have 1 by 1. By 1 by 1 by 1. And another one in there. Okay, so we had cut at 3. Right? So this is 6, and this is 3, and this is 3. And then we cut 3 by 1 3/4. I don't know that you can even see this very well, can you? Okay, I'll just finish it. And then we had 4 like this, and these are all 1 by 1 1/2. And then the last one is 1 1/2 by 2 1/4. And there's 2 of those. 1 1/2 by 2 1/4. Okay. So let me, I don't know how to zoom, but here, there you go. Can you screenshot that? Take a screenshot of that. And then hopefully you can figure it out if you don't have all your cutting done yet. But as I say, I will post this for you as well so that you have it. But there we go. Okay, hopefully everybody got it. And the other thing you can do is you can take your cardstock and kind of work backwards, because a whole bunch of what we cut is just 1/4 inch bigger, right? So you can always take a 1/4 inch off of all of these pieces. So the next thing that I would do is just set out all of these pieces so that you know what goes on to what. Okay. They are all standard borders, just a 1/4 inch larger. Okay. And there are lots of them. I did warn you, didn't I? I think I warned everyone that this was stepped up just a little bit, as in more cutting. There we go. Okay. So then you will still have a few pieces of the your cardstock color number 1 left over, but they're for after. Okay, those are for layering on our actual cards. And once you've got this all laid out, guess what? Time to stick it all together. So let's start sticking, and I will try to think of some fun things to tell you while we all glue. Nobody told me that they're actually crafting tonight. And I have none of this prepared in advance, so I can't jump ahead. You're just going to have to watch me, you know, cut and paste. Or is it my friend Louise? A number of you know Louise. She does the online global retreats with us. She's in the UK, and she said, "Who knew I could make so many friends and have so much fun just cutting and pasting as an adult?" And she's absolutely right. You know, when you sort of get down to the very basics of what we do, there's a lot of cutting and gluing, and we do it and we have fun with it and we make friends, and it's just an awesome way to go. These little guys we are actually going to do tilted, so hopefully your paper allows for that, even though it's straight up. When we put them together, we will turn them a little bit. And in some of the when I had done this originally, the sentiments, we're going to stamp the sentiments right onto a background layer, because there is background layers in all of these cards. And then they were embossed. And of course, when I had done it the first time, I was just, you know, crafting, so I could stamp everything and then I could go and emboss it all. And so I had typed out all the instructions for this, and I had mentioned which pieces to emboss, and then I started to think, oh my gosh, if people are needing to stamp a sentiment on here and it's already embossed, that doesn't work well. Having sort of a light embossing on your cardstock that has a sentiment on it can look really wonderful, but you have to stamp first and then emboss. Otherwise, your stamping doesn't usually work well. So I took out all the embossing, and but I will tell you what in my original version what was embossed, and if you make more on your own and want to emboss your cardstock, you can do so. You just need to stamp your sentiments first. The alternative, of course, is that you punch or die cut a bunch of shapes to put your sentiments on and add them on as an additional layer. But I was sort of working from something that was a number of years old and sort of going with how it had been done back in the day. It's a little bit of a throwback Thursday. I didn't call it that, but I did pull out an old pattern that I originally did with some paper. I'm trying to figure out the name of it a while ago, and I don't remember, and I didn't ever look it up. So I still can't tell you what the name of it was, but it was beautiful paper, as we often have. Anyway, there we go. So we have, I had asked you to cut 6 card bases. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. Okay. And you can add, like in my original, there was a doily that I put behind this piece. You could put a die cut behind something. You can add to these any way you want, because of course, you know, you can do whatever you wish, but this is the basic, and I'm going to show you how I had done it previously. So, you know, we'll go from there. So, alrighty, let's start to put some of these together. So we are going to start with this piece. And so I am going to use, see, this is where I have dark cardstock to layer onto a dark card base. So, oh, that's weird. I have no idea what that mark is. I'm going to fold this against the score line so that I can cover it up. So this is Starry Sky. So it is too dark to stamp on. But as I mentioned, I did bring some basic white cardstock. So I'm going to use that. So really, we're going to I'm going to pop this whole layer up. Whenever you do tone on tone, you often want to pop it up. And I had suggested some ribbon that you might want to add. This is the Starry Sky metallic woven ribbon, and it's in the annual catalog. So I thought that I would use some of this for some of these cards. So I am going to take this and just tie it around here. Let's do this. And then I'm going to have to stamp my sentiment onto a piece of basic white. So if you have dark cardstock, you will also need to do the same thing. That was a little long at that end, longer than I needed. And I have no idea where my ribbon scissors are. So hopefully these are sharp enough to cut this. And they are. So that's just a simple knot, keeping it easy. I did not tie a bow. And I am going to grab some of my white cardstock. If you watched my craft spot yesterday, I made a number of sympathy cards, and I've pulled out this same sentiment tonight, and I think that I am going to make some more, because then I should have lots. Unfortunately, what I did not pull out is ink. All right, we have it. I'm going to stamp a starry sky. I do have some fresh region cardstock as my second color, but we'll go with starry sky for now. Just going to stamp that on there. And I have, I should probably, I could, you know what? I'm going to need this for a few. So I'm going to do a few of these while I'm here. Save me some time later. I don't know how many I need. I don't know that I need 4 because if I get some later cardstock, I can do that. But I'll just stamp 4, and if I don't need them, I don't have to use them. I think that most of you know it's always easiest to stamp first and punch after, because then you can line it up however you want. If you have other stuff out to the side, I cover it over because it plays games with my eyes, and then I don't know where I should be stamping. Hopefully I left enough room here. Because this punch has extra bits and pieces. We'll give it a shot and see. I wasn't positive I needed them all anyway, so but look, we're fine. Hopefully this is great. I don't know, something about upside down and stuff. My eyes play games with me. Okay, so now I have a bunch of sentiments ready to go. And see, this is where I should have embossed this. It would have been nice just to add some embossing, but oh, was that an angry face I saw go by? Hopefully no one's angry, but okay, I am going to put some dimensionals onto this piece. We'll pop him up. Oh, there's a heart. Okay. There we go. Hearts are better than angry faces. And thumbs up. There. Oh, look at you, ladies. Ah. Okay. So I have to tell you, and I'd love to see some comments. So, if you follow my personal Facebook page at all, you may have noticed that today is my 4th wedding anniversary. And I was raised on, not on, but raised, we ate pigtails. And your phone fell. Oh, okay. So we'll blame Nancy, but it wasn't Nancy. It was just her phone. There we go. No, nobody was angry. That's good. Anyway, so I grew up eating pigtails. So eating pigtails seems very normal to me. But I have come to learn as an adult that it's a little weird to some people. And so for a treat, and we had pigtails tonight. My brother Warren got us some pigtails at Central Meat Market in Kitchener. And that's what we had for our dinner, because that's a very special dinner for us. So you can't buy them just any old place. So I was just wondering if any of you have ever eaten pigtails, or whether it's just they're like, yeah, no, not doing that. Not going there. I still remember the first time, you know, because we used to get them occasionally, and you know, we wouldn't share them with anybody. But one time I decided I was going to share them with my best friend and her husband, and they came over. They came in and go, "Oh, what smells so good?" It's like, "Oh, that's our dinner." Hey, Dean, welcome. And it's like, "Oh, what are you making?" It's like, "Oh, I'm making pigtails." And they both just sort of went, "Whoa." And that's when I first learned that pigtails was not an ordinary meal for everyone. I really had no idea up until that point. So anyway, they're actually actual pig. Yes, they are real pigs details. But they are awesome. They are they're better than ribs. They are sweeter and they are super tender. And yes, they are actually marvelous. So, but I have come to learn that they're not for everyone. I kind of messed this up. I think this was supposed to be a different color because I have a whole lot of the same color going on here. Oh well, I should have, I told you I should have cut more fresh freesia. So I have kind of messed up the instructions, I think. Or maybe just, yeah. Yep. I've messed up a little bit, but I have one of these and I have one of these. So we can, I got some of them going on, right? We can do a few things. Okay. Yeah, I should have a different color. Yeah. Okay. Well, it is what it is. Here's what I have. I have 3 of these card bases, and I have some basic white card bases, and we'll just kind of wing it. What the heck, eh? So I think that I'm going to put this. Oh, that's supposed to go like that. That would be better. So this has to go on a white card base, or it could go on there, but yeah. And am I short? Okay, I'll have to go back and figure out a couple of things because I seem to have not cut enough stuff. But onwards, we're moving onwards. I'm gonna put this on here. I don't have another layer. I could add a white layer. Maybe I'll add a white layer. Would that look funny? I don't know. I'm gonna cut a piece. Okay. I'm going off the off the grid now, ladies. Sorry. cut cardstock as you see fit. There we go. I gave you the 6x6 stuff. Is that enough? Okay, so I've cut this, but 4 by 5 1/4. So it should be, yes, it's a standard layer. But it really looks like I need a new blade in my trimmer. That's a little fuzzy. I lost my paper snips. Okay. So I'm going to put that on, and now the advantage of this will be that I don't need to put a layer in here, right? I can just stamp, or another piece for my sentiment. I can stamp right on here. So I'm just going to set that there. I'm going to set that on there so I can get the placement kind of going the way I wanted. And see if we mess up, we can flip it over, and if we mess up again, then we put the piece on. This is kind of how it was intended. Is there a cat in the back of my screen? What are you doing there, cat? Okay. So, and then from there, I think on this one, I'm going to put some of this ribbon up and down and up. So if you want to, thread your ribbon onto the back, easy way to do it, just get some tape runner going in the general area that you want to hold your ribbon in place. And then you can just kind of lay it down. Just going to double check that that looks about like the way I want it. And make it roughly even. Closer. There. and then it just all sort of sits in place. Okay. And then you can put dimensionals on if you want to pop it up. I haven't put gems on anything yet. We'll go back and do some of that after. Oops. And remember that it's sticky. So tonight, Steve and I were saying, more people should try eating pigtails. They're really good, and they would find this out. And then we said, but then, if they became a really popular thing, that the price would go absolutely through the roof. They're not inexpensive, but they're not outrageous right now. But you don't get a whole lot of tails from each pig. So if they became really popular, they would get really expensive. So don't bother trying them. If you've never had them, don't try them. Yeah, that's it. Kind of like chicken wings. When I was a kid, my mom had a couple recipes for chicken wings, and she would make them because they were it was a very inexpensive meat. Nobody wanted chicken wings. The grocery stores and the butchers and stuff, practically gave them away because nobody really wanted them. And then all of a sudden the bars got involved and they became popular and they became a thing. And now they're expensive. So be careful what you wish for, I guess, is the message there, right? There we go. There's card number 2. I think it looks okay with the white. Alrighty. So for our next card, maybe we will do a basic white card base. And you can switch these up from how I'm doing them if you want colored card bases. These are your cards. There's no real right or wrong. And I've already gone, off the grid. Okay, see, Terry's husband has had pigtails, and he's even bought them, but not since she's known him. It's Terry, don't divorce him. He's still a good man. He knows what he's doing. Okay, so I'm going to put my Fresh Freesia cardstock. Should be the same length, but oh, it is. Okay. So these are both the full width of the card. Okay. This is just going to make a little border. It's going to be the same length, so we'll just get that down on there. There we go. And then this is going to go kind of at the top or towards the top. And again, I'm going to stamp my sentiment down on the white cardstock near the bottom. It's right down there. There we go. And then Renee, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by this evening. Now, I am going to put these guys on an angle. Do I want all the flowers going the same way? Or the thought was to do these like this. There we go. They will fit. And yeah, they're just kind of, I think they need to go all the same direction then, don't they? I think if I did it this way, yeah, that kind of works too. But I'll do them all the same way. But I am thinking that I will maybe kind of just have them touching, and then we'll run some ribbon across the back just for a little bit of interest. So I'm going to pull out my liquid glue here and just put a little tiny bit right on the corners, because this is going to be not a whole lot of overlap. Okay, just enough to kind of hold it together. Hopefully. And hopefully it's straight. I'm just going to set it on there because then I can tell if I have it straight before it all dries. There we go. I think that works. Okay. Put the lid on the glue. And then what I want to do is just kind of flip it over. And again, with my tape runner, I'm going to run some tape runner across the back of these guys so that I can come in with my ribbon. And this time I'm just going to go down and back. So just, whoops. Sticks in some places, not in others. There we go. Get that sort of stuck down. And then I'm going to just loop it back. So I want it to come off the end a little bit, but not too much. There we go. So just a little loop off the end and run it back. Very sticky. And then I will cut this off. And we will see how it goes. Now this whole thing, we can pop up with dimensionals. To get the impression that I like my dimensionals. I do. I love adding that pop to things. I think that will work. Oh my. You know, my cats are really starting to learn that when I'm doing a live video that it can be an absolute free-for-all in the what is sometimes known as the craft studio, others times known as the toy box room, because there's many things in my craft studio that cats feel are just like awesome toys. That's centered. I think that's pretty much centered. There. Look at that, a little squish. I may have to trim these ends just slightly so they don't cut off the end too much. We'll just give them a little snip. And then I'm going to put this whole piece onto my card. Oh, and this right there-ish. There we go. Card number 3. Okay, moving on. So the next one, we're going to use these 2 pieces. Now, depending on your paper, you can do them this way, or you can do them this way. Mine clearly need to go this way. Let's just see what. Somehow I didn't cut anywhere near, and I've totally missed something. I'm not sure. I really need to grab some more cardstock. Ladies, I'm going to go grab some more paper because I've messed up something somewhere. One moment. Okay, I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at like the colors used. Of course, blue is my favorite. Well, yes, it is. Yes, you know what? I really like that one with the fresh freesia, which is partly why I decided to step away from the camera and go get some fresh freesia because I really like it with the blue. I think it's quite lovely. But we could do something. Actually, you know what? Okay, here I'll do a white card base next because I have these layers ready to go. So let's use a white card base. Oh, now I got paper on my desk, hiding all my tools. In case you're wondering, because I didn't even remember to tell you, I'm using the Tea Boutique designer series paper. So this is from the annual catalog, and we used it a lot in the spring when the annual catalog came out, but there are lots of small patterns in here. So there's lots of paper that would be great for this kind of one sheet wonder stuff. Okay, so now we are going to do these layers on here. And then we're going to add this guy, and I can stamp my sentiment right on there, and that will work, hopefully. Okay, so I'm just going to set that there to kind of have an idea where I want things, so I get my sentiment in the right place. This one's not entirely unlike the first one, except that I have I've switched up my colors and got the fresh freesia layer going on. So this one was just a little narrower. This one's just a little bit wider. And that one's very wide. So they're all exactly the same, only different. There you go. But maybe I could tie a bow, or I could just, tie a knot and add a bow, or I could just tie a bow. I could make a big bow, maybe a big loopy bow to dangle on that part. I don't know. I'm just going to tie this and then we'll decide. How's that? I just put like a big dangly bow on there. That might look kind of cute. I think that could work. Okay, so when you have very thin ribbon like this, what you want to do with your glue dot is just kind of roll it with your finger. I don't know if you see that glue dot. So I just kind of roll it up with my finger so that it becomes a small little chunk of glue, basically, is what it ends up being. But then when you put it on the back of your very thin ribbon, it doesn't stick out and be sticky everywhere. There we go. I think that will work. And I think we will pop this up with dimensionals, because why not, right? That's what we're doing. We're on a roll. Whoop. Wasn't necessarily going to put one in the middle of that, but I guess I will, since I got pulled two off at the same time. So one more back to peel. I have been trying to go back and use some of the things from the annual catalog that I haven't played with for a while, and it's like, oh yeah, there was some great things there. They're still there. We just need to go back and use them. And this Tea Boutique paper is certainly one of them. So I'm just putting this flat onto this layer. And then I think I'll probably just go flat onto my card base, because I've got a fair amount of layering going on. So I don't want it to get too thick, or the postman will have something to say about it. Okay, we have two left. So I'm going to use Starry Sky card base. And I think that I am going to cut, I think I'm going to do this one. But I'm going to cut a piece of fresh freesia to be a layer on there because I don't have one. Okay. But I stamped and punched all those sentiments at the beginning, and now I'm not needing them. That's okay. They can get used for something else. Okay, so standard layer sizing. So this is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. You can do it differently, and you can add a couple of layers if you wish. You could do a white and a fresh freesia. And change it up. Do that, and I can stamp this in. I could even put this in here. I don't know that I want to add the white. I kind of like the sentiment stamped right on the cardstock there. So out. Straight. Hopefully straight. There we go. And then I will pop these up. So if you're going to pop up 2, we'll just have to remember with our second piece that we have to go flat on the part that overlaps, because otherwise it will all be tilted and cockeyed. Okay. Oops. And it didn't quite hit the bucket. There we go. So what I meant is this part here. So we don't want any dimensionals under this part. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here right away, so I remember where that is. And that will just be on that part. So that'll just hold it in place. But then I know where I can put my dimensionals without creating a problem. And that way everything will be on the same level, because this is going to get popped up really from the layer below it. There we go. And then we will put this onto our Starry Sky card base. I do like fresh freesia with Starry Sky. You're right, Terry. It's a good combo. I don't know that it's anything I've actually ever done before, but it's it's in the paper. I lied. This is not Tea Boutique. Anybody catch it? I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm going to I think it's butterfly wishes or butterfly kisses, or I'm pretty sure that's where it was from, because it has, well, okay, now I'm not sure. Butterfly kisses. Let me see if I can find another piece of it in this package. This one also has lots of small patterns. Yes, I'm almost positive it's from here now. Yes, look, here's, oh no, but there's the same flowers, so it's going to be compared. Those have butterflies on them. But okay, so scratch the Tea Boutique, although there are lots of nice small patterns in the Tea Boutique, but there's also nice small patterns in this. Here we go, look. Yes. Okay. So it's Butterfly Kisses, not Tea Boutique. But either of those, and they're both in the annual catalog, which is why I pulled them out. It's like, oh, I haven't used either of these for quite a while. Let's pull those out. Which one should I use? And I debated using both of them, but oh, I didn't put any ribbon on here. We could put another bow on this one. Or maybe we'll just skip the ribbon and go with just some gems when we get to the gems. Don't know what to do now. I'll tie a bow and we'll see. This is a smaller bow than the last one. I don't know. I didn't tie this. See? That way. Not convinced about the bow. It could work. I don't know. Anybody have any thoughts? Bow? No bow? I'll put some gems on. Maybe we'll start with gems. I'll just leave this here. We can think on that. You can let me know if you have any thoughts. Okay, and then the last one is these four guys, which we could make a fresh freesia card base. Oh, I'm going so far off what I told you. Never mind. We're going to do a basic white card base, just like I suggested. Yeah, gosh. You know what? As I was writing this down, it was like, oh my gosh, there's so many bits and pieces here. And then I only decided to do the cardstock 1, cardstock 2 after I'd started writing stuff down. It's like, oh, wait a minute, they're going to need some clues on which cardstock to use where. And so I sort of went back and kind of messed everything up. So I'm going to cut another piece of fresh freesia for a layer on my white card base. Could do a double. Do we want to do double? So if you're doing double, this piece becomes 3 3/4 by 5. Oh, that didn't cut very well, did it? No, I do need to change my blade in here. And then we're also going to need a Starry Sky layer. Fortunately, when I grabbed the fresh freesia cardstock, I grabbed the Starry Sky cardstock. And this one will be just one size down card base. So it's 5 1/4 by 4. There we go. Okay. Done with that. And then we have this and oh gosh. Get out to me paper snips and clean that up a little bit. It looks good or with or without the bow. Well, that doesn't really help. It's nice to know I can't go wrong, Terry, but you know, that does not move me closer to a decision. I can't say, well, I did it that way because Terry told me to. Which you know is what I'm trying to. I just did it like this because that's what somebody or other told me to do. Yes. There we go. So maybe we want this in the middle and sentiment at the bottom. Could do that, or let's see what I could turn it. Could do another one, portrait, couldn't I? Because I only have one. Well, two that, oh, see, so if I do 2 portrait and no, sorry, 2 landscape, and I have 3 portrait right now, so I could do this one landscape as well. Just make sure these fit okay. Yes, they would fit. I could put ribbon onto this piece. Oh, tie a bow. Sure, you know, it's only live TV. What the heck? I can do it. We'll start with the stamping. Yeah, if anybody else have any ideas, let's not leave Terry hanging here as the only the only person I can lay this decision on. Oh, it's a little bit squishy. That's just a tiny bit long, but I think we'll get okay. We'll keep this towards the edge. There we go. And now this is not my strength, and I have to undo this bow that I tied. So I always find it a little bit difficult to tie bows on cardstock like this. But here's a little secret, a little tip, little trick. Grab a glue dot on your pokey tool, and then you can put it underneath where you want your bow to be. So I want this kind of in the center and probably right about here-ish. We're just going to stick that right about there. We'll pull a little more ribbon just so I don't run out of ribbon. String going on here. And then when you tie your bow, what you do when you get your knot, you use this glue dot as your extra finger, and then it just kind of sits so that you can tie your bow easier. Hopefully it's in the right place. If you have your other pieces laying down first, it's easier to tell that you're in the right place. Of course, you know, that would be very organized, and so that's not how I did it. So this is going on a bit of an angle, but I think that might be good because that way my ends won't be over my sentiment. Okay, I'm going to stop there, at least for now, and see how I did on this, because I kind of think I have it up too high. I think I'm going to need to move it. But you can pull these off carefully. Usually. It's kind of stringing. Let's get my pokey tool under here. There we go. Okay. Now, before I push it down, I'm going to actually adhere some of these so I get it right the second try. See, you can fool me once, but that's about it. Well, maybe twice, maybe more. Okay, now my tape runner is just not behaving, cooperating. There we go. Okay, we are ready with all of these. Bring this back. Put these fairly close to the top. Just a narrow little border going on there. Right there. And then down here, do a similar sort of border. Hopefully I have room for this ribbon. Oh, that's why I said narrow ribbon. If you have wider ribbon, it's okay. You just have to, you know, do it more as an over top layer. There we go. Okay, now this can sit right in the middle, and since I have it lifted, I'm just going to slide it back to be right about there. So it's right in the middle. Snip this off. And I don't think we need quite that much. Have a little bit of a funky bow going on here. But it might work okay. That's how it's gonna be. Now, do we want this whole thing popped up? Because I didn't pop up anything there. So maybe, oh, has to go on another layer. We will puff up the final layer. So I'm going to put this directly onto the Starry Sky stock, but then maybe pop the whole thing up on the card base. Since I didn't pop up my little designer series paper pieces. Away. There we go. It's a little bit of a long one tonight, ladies. Lots of crafting. Okay, get this onto. Whoop, I wasn't ready. Onto the cards. There we go. Now we have all of our cards made. So we ended up with 3 that are landscape and 3 that are portrait. Don't know where to put them. Okay. And we just need some gems. You know what? On a lot of these, I'm thinking, and we have some purple and blue stuff that might be pretty. I just saw it up. That isn't really what I was thinking. And now let's see if I can find them. I haven't used them for a little while. I am looking for something iridescent. So I have iridescent rhinestones, but I was thinking more these. Oh. So I was thinking pearls might be really nice. Let me see if I just have a package back here. What do we have here? Regular pearls. Gosh, I don't have a package in that drawer. I'm sure I have some in another drawer because, you know me, I have gems everywhere. Oh, no, I do have some. Right there, handy. Look, iridescent pearls. I think this is what we want. If you have not used these are awesome. We used a lot of these at our online global retreat a year ago. I think the one in February. I think this was part of the goodie bag, and they are so lovely. So we are just going, and they iridesce. Is that what they do? They iridesce all the right colors for this, blues and pinky purples. Oh, yes. Yes, they are lovely. I think this was a good choice, ladies. We're just going to use these on all of them because they are just, oh, well. What do we do with this guy? They don't have to do anything, but really, hello. Maybe just right along our sentiment here. I don't know. Is it just me, or do you love just like sort of playing with gems? Sometimes I move them around. Sometimes I have trouble trying to figure out where I want them. But I do love just kind of playing with gem patterns. Okay, that sounds ridiculous when I say it out loud, but right. Okay, now what about this one? Will they show up in there? I don't think they'll really show up on the paper. because the paper's quite busy. But then it'll show up down here. You may be noticing, she says as she messes up, when I'm doing 3 in a row, I do the middle one and then the edges because it seems a little easier to sort of orient my eyes to get them lined up when I do it that way. But that's just my little trick. There. Okay, let me put these out. I did that very quickly. Hopefully you could kind of see, and I will post pictures of all of these so that you have something to refer back to. Are we all, everybody on screen? Everybody on screen that's getting on screen? Okay, let me go see if I can find the button I'm looking for. There we go. And I'm back. So there they are, 6 cards. A little bit stepped up from last week, but same sort of idea. Thanks. Oh, thanks for all the love, everyone. I'm glad you like them. These are fun to make, and it's a great way. You know, I made these all sympathy cards. You don't have to make them all the same. You can make them all with different sentiments. Switch up your colors, switch up your papers, mix and match. Just, you know, it's just a fun way to craft. And if you have everything at the ready near you, it's easy. So basically you just cut your designer series paper, you cut border paper that's 1/4 of an inch larger than everything, and then just sit down with some card bases and some background layers and some sentiments and build. Lots of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me this evening. It has been an absolute joy. I have really enjoyed this evening, and I hope that you have too. Thank you for being with me, and we will see you all again really soon. Bye for now.